One workshop that I had a really good time putting together was a workshop on creating an inclusive classroom space for international students. And I did that together with Elizabeth Brewer, who until summer was a graduate consultant with us. She's now graduated and moved on. But she and I were looking at data from a survey that the Office of International Affairs did. They surveyed our international undergraduate student population, had a really remarkable response rate. So one of the things that they learned from this survey is that 55% of our international undergraduate student population feels like they belong on campus, okay, compared to 68% of domestic students. So just over half of our international undergraduate students feel like they belong here, which makes you wonder about the other 45%. And do they really feel like they don't belong? And what is it that we as a university community can do to help them feel more welcome on campus and to give them a better sense of belonging? I'm actually working with somebody right now who has been thinking about this a lot and who's been trying to create an inclusive classroom space for her international students in interesting ways. One of the things that she does is she goes through her terminology in her course and she thinks about the terms that you might expect an American to know, an American who's gone to school here, but that you wouldn't necessarily expect an international student to know. And she works a little bit harder to explain those more thoroughly for the benefit of her international students. And something that she sees is that it actually benefits at least a subset of her American students as well. And what's cool about this is it's actually consistent with the literature on this topic, which says that if you work to help your international students understand what you're trying to teach them in class in this way, that you will actually benefit your domestic students as well. It's kind of a universal design thing. The other thing she's doing that I think is really interesting is she's looking for examples of what she's teaching from all over the world, not just from within a U.S. context. And she thinks that it makes her international students feel more included, and it also opens up the eyes of her domestic students to the world at large in a really, in a way that might not happen if she didn't do that. Something that I'm also doing this year that is a bit of a continuation of the workshop is I'm facilitating an OSTEP faculty learning community on internationalization of the curriculum. And you could apply and get into this community if you were willing to either internationalize a course that you teach here on the Columbus campus, or work to make your course more inclusive for international students. So those were the two criteria, and you could focus on one or the other or both. And the community started back in May with the Course Design Institute, and it's continuing through the entire academic year. So I'm looking forward to working with these faculty. We have a really great group of faculty. They're all doing really interesting things, and we're all just trying to wrap our heads around internationalization.